readers, welcome back to another Reading with Melody channel. Today we're going to read a book called The Princess and the Wizard by Lydia Donaldson, illustrated by Lydia. But before we start this video, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on post notification, and mostly enjoy the videos. We're going to read The Princess and the Wizard by Lydia Donaldson, illustrated by Lydia. So let's get started. The Princess and the Wizard. It was Princess Eliza's birthday. She was just blowing out the 7 candles on her cake when a wicked wizard flew down the chimney and into the room. "Why didn't you invite me to your party?" he thundered. "Because wicked wizards like turning people to stone," replied Princess Eliza. "So they do," said the wizard, and with a flick of his bony fingers, he turned the king and queen and all the party guests into stone. Then he laughed a horrible laugh and said to Princess Eliza, "They like capturing princesses too." Just then, there was a whirring of wings, and in through the window flew the princess fairy godmother. She was late for the party, and she saw what had happened. She waved her wand and said, "The princess may try 7 times to escape by changing her color and changing her shape." The wizard just laughed his horrible laugh and said, "Changing her color and changing her shape would never help Princess Eliza escape." Then he snapped his bony fingers again and turned the fairy godmother to stone. The wizard whisked the princess up into the chimney and carried her away to his tall, dark castle. He locked her into a cellar where she cried herself to sleep. The next day was Monday. The wizard unlocked the cellar door. He was holding the big red book which contained all his magic. "This is your first chance to escape," he said. "I shall count to 100 and then I shall come and find you." He opened his book, closed his eyes, and began to count. Princess Eliza ran outside. The moat of the castle stone blue under the blue sky. She jumped into the water and turned herself into a blue fish. 98, 99, 100. The wizard opened his eyes, locked in his magic book, and read, "To find where Eliza is hiding from, you looked in the moat for the fish that is blue." He fished Eliza out of the moat and took her to the kitchen where was food of blue plates and pots and pans. They're all covered in dried up food. "So you like blue, do you?" he said. Then set to work and wash, and he locked her in. On Tuesday morning, the wizard unlocked the kitchen door. He looked at the clean plates and pots and pans, and he grunted. "Chance number 2, he said. Then he opened his book, closed his eyes, and began to count. Princess Eliza ran to the farmyard. She turned herself into a yellow chick and hid in some straws. But the wizard read his book. The straw in the farmyard is yellow and thick. Princess Eliza disguised as a chick. He scooped Eliza up and took her to the cupboard, which was filled of yellow socks. They all had holes in them, made by his pointy toenails. "Do you like yellows? Do you?" he said. Then set to work and darn, and he locked her in. On Wednesday morning, the wizard unlocked the cupboard door, looked at the darn sock, and grunted. "Chance number 3, he said. He opened his book, closed his eyes, and began to count. Princess Eliza ran to the meadow. She changed herself into a green grasshopper and hid among the grass blades. But the wizard read in his book, "The grasshopper princess is easily seen, chirping away in a meadow so green." He caught Eliza in a net and took her to this green bathroom. The bath basin, wall, and floor were covered in wizard's slimy toothpaste. "So you like green, do you?" he said, and set to work and wiped, and he locked her in. 3 more days went by. Each day the princess tried to escape. On Thursday, she turned herself into an orange box and hid in a pile of orange leaves. On Friday, she turned herself into a purple butterfly and fluttered among some purple flowers. On Saturday, she turned herself into a black cat and lurked in a black tunnel. But each time, the wizard found her and gave her yet more work to do. On Sunday morning, the wizard came onto the roof where Eliza had been scrubbing the sooty chimney pots. Instead of grunting, she laughed a horrible laugh. "This is your last chance," he said. "I'll catch you this time. You must stay and work for me for the rest of your life." Then he opened his book, closed his eyes, and began to count. Princess Elisa turned herself into a white gull and flew up into the clouds. But as she hovered above the roof where the wizard was still counting, she saw words forming on the page of his open book. "So that's how he found me," she cried. "I shall never escape." And she had an idea. She turned herself into a page of the wizard's book, a perfectly blank white page with no writing on it. 98, 99, 100. The wizard finished counting and began to read his book. The princess turned into a bird into the sky. She hid in a cloud where then she had no one more to try. Then she was end of the page. The wizard turned to read more, but there was no more. The next page in his book was blank and white. He flew into rage. "You stupid book!" he shouted, and it hurled into the moats. The book landed with a splash and sank to the bottom of the river. All the wizard magic was gone. At that moment in the palace, the king and queen and all the party guests came back to life. "Where is Princess Elisa?" they asked each other. Nobody knew except for the fairy godmother, and he only smiled and said nothing. Princess Elisa had turned herself from a white page into a blue fish and was swimming into the edge of the moats. She turned herself into a yellow chicken and ran across the corn in the farmyard. She turned herself into a green grasshopper and hopped over the grass. She turned herself into an orange fox and raced through the orange leaves. She turned herself into a purple butterfly and fluttered over the purple flowers. She turned herself into a black cat and squeaked through the black tunnel. Then she turned herself into a white bird and flew all the way back to the palace and in through the window. She perched on her chair at the tea table and changed herself back into a princess. The king and queen and all the party guests hugged her. Then Princess Elisa cut her birthday cake and hugged, and everyone had a slice. The end. Thank you so much for watching this video and reading with us. I hope you enjoyed this video and an awesome day, like literally an awesome day. As I said again, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on the post notification, and mostly enjoy the video. We'll see you next time. Bye, little readers!